Oh shit. All right, brilliant. All right, let's go ahead and do this. So this is Parasite. We're gonna start the time as soon as I hit new game here. So in three, two, one. Sorry, I don't know why I stalled there. So this is this this game. Like, there's a lot to say about this game. Oh, snap. Twitch chat is confusing me. Do I need to turn up the volume on my side? Like, it's a quiet game, alright? I can turn it up over here. I just don't know if it's easier to fine tune it on the restream side. Okay. Yeah, well, I was reading all the chat. Sorry. Um, yeah, a lot to say about this game. It not a lot of it is great, honestly. It's a game made by Square Enix, and it came out right after Final Fantasy VII. It's a quiet game, all right. It's a quiet game. She runs slowly. Everything that happens is very slow. The That's the fast, like right here. What you see is the fastest we're gonna move in this entire in this entire game. Um, as you can see, this game has a lot of unskippable cutscenes, and like a lot of it's actually really cool. A lot of the cutscenes are really good. This one in particular is a pretty sick cutscene. But once you get to like actually speedrunning the game and you put hundreds of runs on it, like this 3 minute unskippable cutscene really makes you unhappy. It's I think I did the math and I've wasted like 19 or 20 hours or something like that watching this cutscene alone. Yeah, so some of you guys have chat obviously has heard of it, which is good. Last time I did it, nobody knew what it was. Yeah, basically this game was Square Enix's attempt to make a. They saw that like the survival horror space was like a new thing, and they wanted to get in it. So they put essentially they put like their RPG turn-based Final Fantasy roots twist on a survival horror game. And when it came out all together, like the final project, it ended up doing really badly. Um, like it didn't even get released in anywhere of the PAL, anywhere on the PAL consoles. It's essentially, since I'll skip a lot of the text and whatnot, it's basically 2 hours and 20 minutes of gameplay, all done really slowly. RNG is really the difference between my good days and my bad days, because it's no glitches, no skips, nothing crazy like that. It plays a lot like an RPG. It's just shorter than Final Fantasies. Um, but the story is about this detective and basically a genetic mutation through your mitochondria that makes this lady like all powerful. Some really powerful being. People burst into flames. Rats turn into monsters. You fight like a giant jelly guy. Crocodiles, worms. Like it's pretty much just a bunch of zoo animals you go around slaying until you kill a baby in the very end. That's pretty much the game. But if anybody's interested in speedrunning, this is a really good first game. There's an incredible guide. Like the notes are incredible for this game. uh, the notes are incredible for this game. They're like as detailed as you could possibly ever wish notes to be. You can learn it blind, absolutely. It's a really good first game to learn speedrunning, so definitely give it a go if that's something you're interested in. It's only 3 hours long, so if you want to speedrun an RPG, like, this is your best bet. Oh god, this is a Final Fantasy game if you replace fun with mitochondria. That's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate. I did run Final Fantasy IX for a period of time. It was just too long, so I decided I wanted to play something like much, much worse that nobody cared about me being good at. So here I am. But, like, for the time period, it was pretty interesting because it works on a broken active battle system with like turn-based style. It's hard to explain. You'll see it right here. So we got the really good starting ATB right there. This fight, there can be like a difference of 2 or 3 seconds based on your ATB, and then another 2 or 3 seconds based on your RNG for crits. So right here, if I can make this... Okay, cool, it'll be a 5 hit. I got hit, damn it. Sorry for swearing. But yeah, basically, we equip a stick, we punch a lot of stuff for a while. I'll be playing this, the game is broken up into 6 days. I'll be playing the first day exceptionally safe, because it's really the only day that I, like, am generally concerned about possibly dying. It's very, very easy to die. This is man, this chat is killing it. I've never had this many people watching this awful game, so, like, this is cool. But, it's one of the games where you have to hold circle to run the entire time, which never made sense to me. Like, she already moves really slowly. So somewhere the developers are sitting there like, people are going to want to prioritize walking in this game. But just in case, we'll put a button that they can hold down if they do want to run, which they'll probably never want to do. Which makes no sense to me. Yeah, this game is actually Police Brutality Decolorized 2017. Final Fantasy IX sucks after all. Oof. That's rough. I mean, I don't want to say it was the best in the series, but, you know, it was the best in the series. This game, it really isn't bad. Like, if you want to play this game casually, it's a good game to play. The story is super interesting. So it was based off of a movie and a book. The book obviously came first. A novel in Japan. They made a movie, which is on YouTube. If you want to watch it in, like, the same quality you're watching this in, you can go on YouTube and check it out. It's interesting, and Square Enix did an interesting spin off of it. But it was the first game for the PlayStation console that Square Enix had made, at least, that used polygon models as opposed to the models that Final Fantasy VII used. So right here, my ex-wife makes an appearance. We give her a swat. We do some running. Now, another interesting thing to note about this game is that you can't use analog or D-pad at the same time, right? So, like, if analog is on, your D-pad doesn't work. If your D-pad is what you're using, your analog won't work. So you have to choose, right? Like, it's really strange. But because of how it works, we use, most of us use D-pad when we run this game. Right here, we do some mashing. Sorry, I'm trying to, I'm doing this on a PSP as well, so the mashing is kind of not very ergonomical. This game is... Good luck, don't die. I shouldn't have to die. I shouldn't have to die. I'm going to play this game So the first time I ran this game in a marathon, I was petrified, because I was like, dude, dying is a big part of this game. Like, this game is extremely punishing in a speedrun because you can die literally at any point. Lots of stuff decides to crit you when it shouldn't. It's a nightmare. But I realized that if I just lost seconds and healed and stuff like that, then it's pretty safe game to play. It just won't be a world record run or anything like that. Now this fight is the gatekeeper of day one. It's really difficult. Oh, it takes good RNG. It takes a lot of patience, a lot of cursing, things like that. Also, yeah, it's important to notice that if you run into an enemy you're fighting, you take contact damage and it stuns you for a short, like a brief 0.25 seconds or something like that. It's pretty rough. And the reason I'm standing far away from her is because if I'm too close, she'll just punch me in the head and do like almost all my health. Just like that. Now I'm gonna heal here because like I could usually make it through this fight with that HP, but I don't want to have to make it through the next couple fights with that HP. Yeah, I knew that would be the last hit. And there's the next couple fights we continue to use the stick, the police baton, and they're kind of risky. At 12 HP, they're super risky. But once we get the gun, things kind of even out. Not playing the third birthday. Oh, the third birthday is awful. Like, it's just garbage. It's garbage. To be fair, Parasite Eve 2 and 3 were nothing like this one. So if you like 2 and 3, you're more of like a Resident Evil style of player, is what I found. Silent Hill, Resident Evil. Whereas this game really doesn't play like anything, because it's just whack. So right here we fight 2 rats and a frog. The frog is actually... Oh, I'm sorry, 3 rats. The next fight is the frog, thank goodness. We got lucky with their movement there, that's pretty good. I've seen worse. Yeah, this game is actually, like, for the 1997 time period that it came out, it's actually kind of dark. Like, there's lots of scary stuff, man. Now this frog is going to... I should just wait it out. Now that frog hitbox is very, very... As I said, the frog hitbox is very obscure. Playing that fight safe, that's what I'm talking about. Parasite Eve 2 is where it's at. Parasite Eve 2 is a cool game to play casually, is what I think. And then the third birthday is one of those games that just fans of the franchise pretend never happened. So right here is the first instance of time-saving RNG outside of the fights. Okay, wow, so we got good RNG. Wow, that's really lucky. That happened. That's like a, I don't know, 20% chance of happening. You get the offense 2 out of that box as opposed to the offense 1, in which case you have to run to the next room and lose about 10 to 15 seconds, depending on how slow your movement is. Okay, so we didn't get the fast fight here, which is annoying because the way they're separated is going to make it hard to hit them both. Okay, got it. Sweet. The closer you are to creatures in this game, the higher your crit rate and your accuracy, which is important to know. Now right here I'm going to do a safety save because this alligator is actually quite buggy. Shouldn't give me any issues though. If I just have to concede a heal, that's fine. Not getting the fast fight. Yeah, The fast fight requires like pretty good luck. You have to have two of the three shots crit on both frogs to get the fast fight. I don't know the probability to crit with this gun because it's of course based on like how far away you are, things like that. So it's really hard to figure like probability in this game. There's a lot of really broken mechanics in this game and a lot of broken bosses. This one that we're about to fight is a giant lizard, and based on like the very first turn, you time your movement so that you get him on a good cycle. But sometimes he glitches into place and he doesn't move, so it's impossible to time your movement, and then he just eats you. He goes into like a frenzy sometimes just for absolutely no reason. Now this game is exceptionally susceptible to like bad luck. I think in my PB I had pretty bad luck, but I still was able to get a good time. Now right here we don't want crits. And we gotta shoot the tail 3 times. Okay, we got 1 crit. That's unfortunate. And really bad RNG right here. So yeah, he frenzied out. Okay, we got the attacks off, thank goodness. If you don't get those attacks off in time, he'll do like a 40 HP hit that just really dampens my day. And the reason we don't want crits in that fight is because it throws off our reload rotation. So we have 3 bullets, and if we use an uneven amount of bullets, it'll like reload the gun in between your attacks, right? And that's never good because it's super slow. Okay, that was a pretty good fight actually. What is the red and green meter at the top? Okay, so the red and green meter is basically, it's your parasite energy, right? Which is basically, yeah, exactly, MP. They wanted to make it as like they wanted to make it as, I guess, biological as possible. So they're like, let's call it parasite energy. That's wild. And it replenishes itself pretty quickly. You'll see me using it quite a bit. You'll see me using it quite a bit in this run. Energy Shot, Haste, and Liberate are really, really important uses of it. So it's pretty important, although most of your damage and most of the stuff I'm going to be doing is just based on attacks and guns and things like that. Right now, just mash. A lot of this game is mashing, where day 2 is actually tons of mashing. It's probably the hardest day in the game, but it's quite long as well, and it's got so much mashing. So a lot of runs get reset, or at least a lot of my runs I reset in day 1 and I die in day 2. If I make it through there, it's usually like a good run. So I think to get the world record I have now, it was 350 runs, I believe. I would say over 180 of those are day 1 and day 2 resets. Just because like there's not a whole lot you can control RNG wise later in the game, so like every second you can make up on the points that you can control it are obviously a big deal. Yeah, parasite energy, sorry, I don't know if I specified that. Wow, so we're really far ahead of where I was for the last marathon I did. Like I'm actually only 20 seconds behind my PB, which is good. World record pace, boys. Another thing that's interesting to note is that you can't actually be pressing buttons and moving at the same time. So like right there when I went to accept that item from Baker, if I was holding circle to like be ready to run, or holding the D-pad in order to run, it would just sit there at that screen. Another thing I'll show you is like doors are really wonky, right? So like if you hit a door at an angle like this, you won't go in. You have to like at the last second move into the door. It's weird. But a lot of this speed run is like minimizing your door entries, your movement, your menuing, things like that, and then the rest of it is literally just RNG. So that's how you do this game. If you've never played the game, should you? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's a great game. It's say what you want about it. There is no other game ever that is like this game. Even the other Parasite Eves weren't like this game. So it's really cool in that regard. I like it. I recommend it to people for a speedrun game. It's kind of slow paced, like it's some Resident Sleeper type stuff, but there's like a lot of between like the worst runners of it and the best runners of it. There's like a lot of skill disparity. So like skill plays a small part, but it's very slow paced, easy to learn. If you want to run it blind, exceptionally easy to learn because we have a guy named Primus who made like the absolute best notes you could ever ask for. They're exceptional. So I learned the game blind when I learned it. It took me about 2.5 weeks to get like pretty decent times at it. It's one of those type of games where you can be moving like while the screen is loading, if that makes sense. So like if you're holding the direction, you need to be moving as the load is coming up. You'll end up saving like a good amount of time throughout the run. Yeah, this chat has been killing me all night, man. It's cracking me up. But as far as graphics go, like if you mitochondria version of Highlander, that's something I've never heard before. That's actually pretty brilliant. But so I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, as far as graphics go, it's not better than Legend of Dragoon graphics. It's way better than Final Fantasy VII graphics. Is it as good as those games? No, but you're not. It's a much shorter game. Hey, what's going on, Kipo? My dude, what's up? That's my roommate who's been dealing with my really strange sleep schedule this awesome run. Is mitochondria the powerhouse of the cell? It's actually interesting you bring it up, right? Because when I made like the paper mache cell in my science class, this game kind of puts a different spin on it, right? First thing you'll notice is that none of these grown adults in New York have any idea what a mitochondria is. They have to go to an actual professor who explains to them what mitochondria is. But when he explains it to them, he explains it quite a bit differently than the powerhouse of the cell. So this game kind of spins their own biology. Literally unplayable. It's really not a rare chance. Like I run this game all the time. Um, it's you guys can come watch. Roommate is a real MVP. He is though. He is though, man. You have no idea. Get him on the mic. He's in his room. I'm pretty sure getting ready for bed because it is. Ah, see, there's the doors. I'm like really good at the doors, so pay no attention to how bad I'm doing. This is the world map. Basically, that's all of New York City right there. And if anybody wants to tell me any different, then you need to take me to New York. I've never been to New York. I have to imagine it looks like that. I have to imagine that everybody drives at warp speed for whatever reason. This game is a lot of mashing. Hence why I drink a ton of coffee when I play this, even though it's past 2 in the morning here. The doors. The doors are a really big part of this game, believe it or not. Another interesting thing to note about this game is that it has like, you know, like in the Final Fantasy series, at least there's like background music on every screen. But a lot of this time, I'm just sitting here in silence, mashing and having a good cry. Like, that's really how you play this game. Flintstones background. Oh, man. Yeah, you've been missing the stream. I usually stream at really obscure hours, though, so to be fair. Right here, you're going to see me do some stuttering. It's not a trick of any sort. I have to mash with X, but hold circle. And if you hit X while you're holding circle, it makes you walk. But that's the fastest way to mash through text. I love the sound of the footsteps all the time. What's the best gun? Okay, so the best gun is a lot of people will, for a casual playthrough, a lot of people really like the shotguns and things like that. But the best gun in the speedrun is the Micro Uzi by far. And it's, best fun, Jesus. But the Micro Uzi is my love child, first of all. There's actually a point in the game where you pick up either the Micro Uzi or the M10. It's 50-50. You get it out of a chest in the hospital, which is day 4. Now, when you do that, it used to be that if you got the M10, it was a reset. But Primus, an incredible runner of this game, he figured out a backup strat that we now use. So you can get it, like the world record for this game. I believe I had the M10, which is the slower, like worse gun, but only slightly. But the Micro Uzi is definitely the best gun, especially at the end of the game. We end up modding the gun so that we have like a machine gun shotgun that shoots like multiple targets. It's pretty nasty. The Mito Uzi. It's micro Uzi, like as in small, as in micro. Yeah, just micro. We'll keep it at that. Yeah, like sometimes I look like pretty strange holding these buttons while I mash. Because like I got like 3 fingers on the PSP all, at one given time from one hand while I scroll down in my notes. Some pretty weird stuff, I have to admit. Yeah, the reason I'm talking a lot is because this game is pretty Resident Sleeper. Otherwise, it's pretty boring, like to watch. When you're playing it, it's just like any other RPG that people speedrun, so like Final Fantasy 9 and all that good stuff, yeah? When you run it, it's fun for you, but, and like, there's a lot going on in your head, but for everybody watching, they're just like, what the hell is going on? These characters are emoting like it's... Well, this game actually came out before FF8, so technically Final Fantasy VIII was just a ripoff, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, thank you guys for noticing that. He drives insanely fast, right? Like, first of all, there's no traffic in New York. Second of all, the lights blur as they go past his windows. Like, that's some serious business. To be fair, no. Oh, okay. It's based on Barrett. I'll give you that. I'll give you that, I guess. With tank controls. Yeah, this game is already control-wise really bad since you have to use the D-pad the whole time. Oops. Oh, I forgot a menu. Holy crap. I want to make sure I do this right. There's a couple of menus in the game where that if you screw it up, what you mod your gun, it's a run over. And because this is a marathon, I want to make absolutely sure that I'm not screwing it up. The last marathon, I accidentally screwed up one, and I didn't say anything, but like in my brain, I was panicking. Mitochondria is already plural. Yeah, it is already plural. I believe mitochondria is like, it's like, um, deer. Like there's a deer, there's multiple deer. One of those things. Yeah, actually, you're absolutely right. Final Fantasy VII was supposed to be set in modern day New York. They actually changed developers kind of midway through. Half the team split and made this game a little bit later on. Um, and yeah, a lot of the elements, especially like if you look at Eve, especially in this next fight, you'll notice that she looks exceptionally like uh, Genova. So you can see a lot of the influence. Just mash, mash, mash. So right here, so right here is Central Park, right? Now this is probably the most difficult part of the game as far as like how risky it is, um, because RNG plays a huge part in just ATBs. So that's already, we're off to a good start. Good ATB here is huge. Okay, that's actually brilliant. And I made a mistake there. I shouldn't have done that. I got greedy. So yeah, you dodge the snakes the whole time. The little snake doesn't poison you, fortunately enough. One important thing to note is that you want to end every fight as close to the edge of the screen as possible. Why did he catch fire? Okay, let me explain it like this. So anybody who gets within like a certain range of Eve, if she wants to, she can summon forth the hidden energy of your mitochondria, which when that energy is expelled creates such heat from the energy process that you burst into flames. So he couldn't get close enough. However, Aya, the police detective here, is immune to it. I really should pay attention to how many shots I fired since that first fight went so poorly. Another interesting part about this speedrun is that a lot of these enemies drop junk, like you just saw right there. You don't ever want to pick up junk. Is packing a turbo controller? I wish, man. Yeah, turbo controllers, unfortunately, we're not allowed to use. It's also a PSP, so I don't think that that's even a thing. But it would make this game so much easier. I've just gotten really used to mashing. Came from Final Fantasy games to this one, and it's pretty much that's part of the game. So right here, if we don't get the tool, I would reset. You got an 80% chance to get it, but otherwise, in a marathon, I guess we wouldn't reset. But it would be annoying to have to make that up. Which girl is best girl? So are we just saying in general or in this game? These guys hit for a lot, so you kind of want to try your best to avoid them. Okay, so he's gonna. You never know if they're gonna attack you or if they're not. This guy apparently is really having a really easy day. So right here I want to reload because I don't want to take the reload and... Oh, perfect actually. So I don't need to reload. I want to not have to reload while I'm fighting this snake in the next screen because he'll poison you. Really bad ATB, so this could be troublesome here. Yeah, pretty much. The birds are really strange. So birds in this game, like, when they hit you, they bump into you first, and they can stun lock you, but sometimes when they bump into you, their own auto attack range, which is really odd. I shouldn't have picked that up. And that's another thing that's important to notice is the the um, the active points and stuff like that. So basically what happens is after so many kills, based on how well fights go, so like if you don't take a lot of damage, you get more BP, which are like your bonus points. You'll almost always have 100 right there, and you use them in 100 increments. You can put them on item size, like your inventory can be bigger. We put them on active up until one point, and then we switched to attack on the gun. It used to be attack until Primus figured that active would be faster, speeds up your ATB. I did some really hard math when I started running the game and figured out that there's actually like a happy medium. When you say which girl is best girl, we were talking about we were talking about this game. Well, I gotta go with Aya, obviously. I'm a sellout. I think she's the best. And she's really the only other girl in the entire game besides Eve. And like if I gotta choose between the two of them, just look at it, right? Eve looks like you remember Rugrats, the show? Do you remember the Cynthia doll? That's what Eve looks like to me. I guess nobody else really sees it when I say that, but that's what it feels like. BP stands for butt points. Prove me wrong. You're absolutely correct. BP is butt points. We do put most of our butt points into active, and then later our butt points go into attack. So that's just kind of where we're at. Magnets, how do they work? Like it's easy for me to say they're just, you know, magnetization is how they work. But as far as what's in them, couldn't tell you. Shiva is in this game, but Shiva's a dog. So so I guess you're right. She counts. Yeah, I'll put Aya first, Shiva second, Eve third. How about that? Is that better? Eve tanged everyone. She did. She tanged. Is Tang still around, or is that just like a Kool-Aid destroyed them? So right here I picked up a revive. Revives in this game are like Phoenix Downs, but because you don't use items in battle, they basically work like this. Like if you die, it automatically uses a revive from your inventory. We have some armor that manipulates medicine from your inventory, which we'll see here in a little bit. You can definitely see the yes, thank you, the Cynthia doll. It's a real thing. Rugrats grown up? No, I don't mess with that. That was blasphemy. So lots of running. The sound noise I actually really like. It's very ASMR. The footsteps in the snow. I might have said that there, in which case I apologize. So this fight is really dependent on good ATB, and I got really bad ATB, so we'll see. Here it goes. The bird onslaught has begun. So they can easily fly out of range. You just kind of got to get lucky. That's really it. Oh, that wasn't fast enough. Please don't take off. Ooh, got really exceptionally lucky with that one. Oh, I took it all. I'm such an idiot, dude. I'm so bad at this game. Beforehand. But I promised I'd not play this game for a while. After I'd burned tons of hours into it. Oh, shoot. I want to make sure that I have an even number of bullets because I'm about to fight snakes. Snakes are probably the most dangerous thing in this entire game, especially early on, because they do poison damage, which is purely insane. It does like 4 HP a tick, like every second, right? We have a polar bear here that shoots lightning. He's kind of a pushover, as long as you don't get hit. And then I got hit. But I healed, so like I wasn't really afraid of anything. Right here, I'm gonna do some sorting. A lot of this game is menuing as infrequently as possible, like menuing only when you're supposed to. But because it's a marathon, I just want to make sure that I don't screw anything up, because I can't reset, obviously, and I'm extremely prone to resets. Some more bad ATB, it happens. I'm gonna get hit by somebody. Oh, wow, he missed. Alright, interesting. I got nothing to say about that. So right here, we needed one crit from each of those guys, and we got it. And so that's pretty dope. People melt ASMR. Exactly, exactly. In my normal run, I don't pick up that chest, and I don't pick up the revive because I go hard. This is a little bit different, just because I don't want to die. For the first, up until Shiva, this marathon run is literally just about not dying. So that was kind of unfortunate. These birds can die in either 1 or 2 attacks. Okay, nice. I should have probably picked up that medicine, but it's okay. So this next fight is worms. I'm actually going to save here. This is one of the harder fights in the entire game. Because it's just kind of wonky. Mitochondria bucks. Jeez Louise, you guys are killing me. So worms fight is what you see here. And it is exactly what it sounds like. A bunch of giant worms. We got good ATB to start, and I screwed it up, so it's worth. But yeah, they're all like, they all kind of work on this weird system of prediction. I won't get both of those off, but that's fine. Oh, I did. That was lucky. Whether or not they're gonna attack is not always decided. Oh, I screwed that up. You literally just run around for your life, try not to get hit with stuff. You kill them one at a time. Once you kill one, another one, the one in the center, gets bigger. Oh, that was really lucky, really lucky. Alright, so this is bad rotation. We usually want the center one to come out first. Okay, so they're not going to be staggered, which is unfortunate. So 2 into the middle, 2 into the left. But where I'm standing, I can kind of manipulate how their attacks work. We want them to die on the same rotation of attacks, but it's pretty rare that that happens just based on crit RNG and whether or not their rotation is good. Oh, that's bad. Okay, so this is really unlucky. Wow. So I dodged that first hit, which is awesome. He should die on this very next attack. But you don't ever, obviously, if you can kill them both, you don't ever have to see this part of the fight, which is obviously super great. Saves a lot of time. Does it happen very often? No. No, it does not. Actually, I made it through that fight with such good health that I could probably just... Perfect. So that fight went exceptionally well for worms. Usually it doesn't go as well. Do I ever think about speedrunning Vagrant Story? Is it an RPG? Sorry if I sound like an idiot. I've never played Vagrant Story. Dude, I'm always up to running a new. My issue is I love RPGs, but I don't love that they take 10 hours. So I'm kind of like in this catch-22 where like I can't have, except for Parasite Eve, I can't really have both of the things that I want. Okay, so this fight with Eve is really odd because if you stand close enough to her, she will try to melee attack you and you can dodge it. But if sometimes she will just decide not to melee attack you and do this, which is obviously much slower. Oops. Yeah, what you just saw me do right there is click on a blank space in my inventory. I'm gonna have to heal a bunch. If she melees me again, I could die, so I just want to make sure that I play that a bit safe. You never know where those things are coming down. Perfect. Okay, so that I had to heal more than I'd care to. I would have just died in a normal run, but I wanted to play it over cautious. Usually I do so bad up until that point that I don't have those medicines anyway, so it all worked out. 46 minutes about we finished that fight, according to my split timer. That's pretty good for a marathon. Usually I try to shoot for like 40, 44, 30, something like that, but I gave myself like a 10-minute window. Pretty much the same combat as Parasite Eve, Vagrant Story. That sounds cool, man. I'll have to check it out. My big thing for me is if there's notes for it. Like, if there's notes for it, cool. But if there's not, like, I have a hard time. Like, I wrote the entire notes route for Silent Hill. And that took me forever, and that game's only like an hour. So there's a few things that I'm not willing to teach myself. I'm currently trying to teach myself Dino Crisis, but there's no notes for that either. Anyways, why did she get into the horse-drawn carriage? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like, hey, I'm this evil bad chick. I'm here to kill you. I just lit this stuff on fire over here. Hop on in, and she's like, down, you know? Yeah, that poor horse, right? He just sat there. He carried it for like a good 6 miles. At least, just on fire. We don't deserve horses, you know what I mean? Mitochondria is one hell of a horse drug. I really do appreciate that people know kind of what this game is about. Usually when I play it, people are just like, this is really strange. Why is everybody on fire? Why is everybody melting? But for you guys to just say mitochondria to everything makes it a lot easier to do what I'm doing, which is playing a bad game very poorly. Right here we got some tech smashing. We got some. These are all the detectives in New York. In case you didn't notice, there's 4 of them and then 1 chief. And that's just kind of how it works. So, New York crime, it really only has itself to blame. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you guys didn't have to hear that. It's not an inhaler, it's an e-cigarette because I'm a bad person. Horsepower is the most... Oh, God. You guys are killing it. Okay, it's not a bad game. It's just that, like, I'm sure that any person who runs a game a bunch of times, their game that they speedrun, they dislike it to an extent. I've just put too much time into this to enjoy it anymore. So it's kind of like that ex-girlfriend you hate, but, you know, at the same time, you always hit her up on the occasion just to see what she's doing. Just to make sure that you're still an impact. Parasite Eve has a small fan base. It does. We got Parasite Eve 3. It just was awful. And yeah, Parasite Eve, it's interesting to see how many Europeans tune into my streams because I stream like really early in the morning. And it was never released on PAL consoles, right? So none of like the European areas got it. Um, he was 420 blazing it. Yeah, we should have paid respects to the horse. That's my bad. I really dropped the ball on that one. Why was the kid wearing a bathrobe? What's important to note is that he is cosplaying Hugh Hefner. That's what I've deduced. Even though it is the middle of winter and there's snow outside, he's wearing red shorts and a red jacket and red shoes in New York. So, like, probably not the wisest color choice. But so be it. You know, live your dream. This guy right here, actually, if you pay attention to the story, this scene right here is full of plot holes. Because Maida, the guy that you just, the dude with the blue shirt that was running away, he doesn't have parasite powers. So how that guy caught on fire just in their conversation makes no sense. But we'll wait. The Thing boss on day 3. Oh, Shiva? Yeah, I hate Shiva. Shiva is actually a run killer for me, because I usually don't pick up revives, and Shiva has really, really potent attacks. One of her attacks half healths you no matter what your health is at, and then if she follows it up with her execute, which does like upwards of 90 damage sometimes, you can be in for a bad time. The cop stopped, dropped, and rolled. Yeah, you know what? I felt like stop, drop, and roll was going to be a way more important part of my life as I grew up, based on the things I was taught when I was young. But never once in my life has stop, dropping, and rolling ever benefited me in any way, shape, or form. So this here can be yours for a measly $2,500 a month, complete with living room dumpster fire. New York property values are sick. Also, largest air vent I've ever seen in my life, right? Like, what is this? This isn't the Ninja Turtles bedroom. Like, what is this? What is this air vent about, right? He understands the powers, dude. I don't know. They never explain it, right? Apparently, so Maida, the guy in the blue jacket, is Japanese, and that cop was saying some Japanese racial slurs to him, basically. And then all of a sudden he caught on fire. So maybe it was his own ignorance that burst him into flames. I'm not sure. But there's really no explanation for it as far as the storyline goes. This is about the point where my hands start to really tense up. Uh-oh, why do we have uh-ohs? What happened? What's happening? I'm so confused. Will somebody explain to me the uh-ohs? So here's a split. What the heck is happening to me right now? Like, you guys had me panic that my internet went out or something. Like, come on now. Killing me. We just wanted to raid with... Oh, raids. Oh, okay. See, like... Cool, I guess. Welcome to the stream. I thought maybe that my stream died or that I did something wrong, so I was kind of nervous, but it's good to see you guys. If you tuned in for some ASMR-like sleep stream, then you're in the right place. Yeah, you guys really missed a golden opportunity to drop some bad mitochondria jokes. But I forgive you. Welcome. Shasta, huh? So this is a very, very important scene right here. Because for some reason, Daniel is able to Angelina Jolie that bullet just right around her. And then he Wyatt Earps that gun back into his jacket pocket like a straight up legend. So we're going to pick up all these items. We're going to, first thing first, switch the gun out. M161 to this M84F to M11 rate of fire. And that's all we got for now. Oh, we need to use this. We don't have any BP. Alright, brilliant. Now that's the menu that I screwed up when I did the previous marathon. And if you do that, it's game over. Because we need the stats. All the numbers and things that we do are based around the stats that we know we'll have on this gun. So if you screw it up or you change the rate of fire, it changes the entire run. Right here I'm going to pick up the second revive. So this pharmacy is actually just a story trigger. Like usually you just go in, you exit immediately. But I'm going to pick up the second revive just to play this this run extra safe. There's also some other stuff in here, like medicines, but I don't think I should be screwing up that badly. Famous last words. So a lot of this game is figuring out the best way to run in straight lines. That's how you maximize efficiency. And then we sit here and we mash some more. This is about a 6.5 minute mashing sequence, I think, something like that. Something like that. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, it is. It is. I was thinking I was done with this clamp stuff already, but we're good to go. Yeah. So this is Professor Clamp, as you saw him earlier. What doesn't make sense to me is that he's like an actual like neurosurgeon, biology professional, right? But he is in a museum, so it's like he's performed kidney and eye transplants and stuff like that. But he works in like a dinosaur museum. So like I don't know if I want the doctor of the dinosaur museum ever performing surgery on me. Like it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Not robbing a store for mitochondria. Oh man. Yeah, you do steal a lot of stuff, but they're police officers, right? So like they can do whatever they want. This is usually where I get coffee and stuff like that, just because of this cutscene and the next one are like 40 seconds. It's times like these that I really wish like a PSP was wireless. Okay, now after saying that I realized that a PSP is absolutely wireless, but I meant that I could like stream to my capture while using it, because like there's a lot of stuff and I'm just sitting here just patiently waiting with nothing to do, which is a lot of this run. So get good at mashing if you want to run this game. I think that my mashing compared to others saves me a handful of seconds throughout the run. But I don't know. I also don't pace myself whatsoever. So after like it's 6 hours of streaming this game, like I can't use my right hand for a solid period of time. Get the lore right. Jeez. I have to give it to you guys. This chat is the most entertaining chat I've ever run this game for, easily. Bar none. In other news, we're actually like a minute and a half ahead of my last marathon. So it feels good, man. And we're only 2 minutes. Is there not a soft mod for the PSP that lets you do that, like the 3DS has? I don't know. So the story about the PSP is like I borrowed it from my friend, and everybody was saying things like put custom firmware on it and all this stuff. And I was like, well, I don't want to do that because it's not mine. And I figured that I would give him the PSP back like the very next day after I got, because the fastest way to run this game is on PSP. And I couldn't compete with the world record unless I had the PSP. And this was a while back. So as soon as I got the record, I figured, okay, I'll hand the PSP back to him. Well, he never came and got it. But to answer your question, I don't know. I don't know anything about PSPs. If that's loud, I guess I can mute my mic. It's a nervous habit. At least the mic doesn't pick up me spinning my my fidget spinner, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, absolutely. So knowing the game is a big part of this game for people who watch it, because like I don't even enjoy watching people play it, and I know the game probably better than anyone. Um, so I can only imagine what people who have no idea what's going on think when they see this. Um, Also, it's worth noting that biology lab microscope was able to see these little cells at like a atomic molecular structure level. So that's pretty wild. Vape Nash, y'all. Yeah, for sure. Um, right here we have one of the weirdest skips in the game. It saves 1 second, and I'll let you know when it's coming up. But when Daniel, your partner, when he looks at the computer screen, for some reason, if you mash the text on a certain frame, it'll skip the animation of the professor turning the computer screen off. And it'll just go cut to the next animation, which is odd. Do you think you will stream anime fidget spinner battle? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. If I get enough Patreon donations, obviously. And I got the skip. There it was, guys. You saw something exceptionally rare. Just kidding. I don't have a Patreon. Please don't donate me anything, because I don't own a fidget spinner and I really don't want to buy one. So we just saved 1 second. We are basically killing it right now. We have 2 revives. None of the fights have well, one of the fights almost killed us, but otherwise this is going well. This pleases me. This scene is so long I have to switch my mashing fingers. One of them is louder and slower than the other. And it really doesn't feel good. Okay, let's see. Big time saves, yep, big time saves. Incredibly. Can somebody tell me what kind of microscope he has? I have no idea. No idea. But they walked into this empty office, they both cut themselves to bleed. Then they used this really odd microscope that was able to see stuff at like the absolute molecular level. So a lot of bad this is right after we robbed a gun store. So we're just doing some hood rat things right now, right? But coming up, I guess I'll explain it now, is the first... Louder and slower. Oh, goodness. You're such a fatty, name checks out. Oh, that kills me. Carpal tunnel is no joke. Hey man, I've considered wearing like one of those carpal tunnel bracelets, or wrist protectors or whatever. Anyways, as I was saying, this is the first instance of encounter RNG we're gonna get in the game. A lot of it determines like how well your run goes. This encounter right here is forced. You're always gonna get it. And how it works is if you're running through a screen that's guaranteed to have an encounter, you're gonna get it, right? Well, if you ever progress through that screen again, you have a 50% chance of repeating that encounter. So when we come back out into this room, here, we're going to have a 50% chance to get that encounter a second time. Obviously, you don't want to get that because it slows you down. There's about 14 instances of that in this entire game, and a lot of them are worse than others. But that's all for like encounter RNG. So for like a Square Enix game, that's not too bad. Is that a dog monster or a wolf monster? I wish I could tell you, honestly. I don't know what half the stuff in this game is. That's really unlucky. So right here we store all the crap we don't want, which is this. I must have not sorted my inventory. It's all out of order. So here we go. Let's hope we don't get the fight. And we did. So bad RNG. I probably would have No. I wouldn't have reset yet, but maybe. I'm kind of a reset slut, I guess you could say. I mean, that's a terrible word to say, obviously, but yeah, I reset all the time over the smallest, most insignificant stuff. We'll go ahead and call that guy a just like a wolf beast thing. I'm not really sure what he is. We have a lot of really, really strange monsters that we fight in this game. Mitochondria. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So right here is a forced fight. We have to get this fight. Now when we come back through this room, we have a chance to get this fight again. So there's actually 2 enemies here. See, I was too far away right there, and I missed that attack, which is extremely punishing because these creatures hit quite hard. Okay, so I believe I have 3 pieces of junk right now. It's important to manage junk. Junk actually plays like a big part in a casual playthrough of this game, but in a speedrun, it literally is exactly what it sounds like, just junk. I believe in a casual playthrough, you turn in junk, like 999 pieces of junk, and you can make like super weapons or something. I'm not really sure. Oh, you know what? I should have probably healed here. That's not good. I won't die, but let's just say we're not going to get the encounter here. If we don't get the second encounter, then we'll have to heal. And it was all intended. And we didn't get it. There we go. So we're 50-50 so far. We're 1 for 2 on repeat encounters. Ideally, in a perfect run, you want to get 0 encounters as often as possible. But there are some that we actually need to get in order to have a certain amount of EXP when we reach the end of the game. Now, one of the most important parts of this menu is to make sure that we actually put the vest on, because there's a lot of times that I forget to do that and I get one-shotted by the very next thing I fight. As you get older, you have to manage your junk. Truer words have never been said, my friend. I have a kid now, right? So like my junk was not managed properly at a very young age. And as such, my junk has... I'll just stop it at that. I'm thinking about what I want to say next, and there's no good way to say it. Yeah, it's crazy that I've actually never played a casual playthrough of this game. All I've ever done is speedruns of it. I learned the speedrun route blind, which with the amazing notes that we have is easy to do. But yeah, I wouldn't actually really not care to. So we gotta be really careful of these spiders, because we absolutely do not want to get hit. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. I was worried that I maybe didn't equip the thing, but I was positive I did. We don't want to get hit with the webs, right? It basically doubles the amount of attacks you're gonna need because it slows you down so significantly. here's Shiva. So if you're a big fan of dogs or dogs make you cry, if you cried during Marley and Me, this scene might have a profound effect on you. So either avert your eyes or whatever. But this is Shiva, except it's spelled differently. It's Sheeva. But besides the point, Final Fantasy creators, Square Enix, were like, we got to throw Shiva in there. So they figured they'd, throw Shiva a bone. But right. I worked on that one all night. So if I could get some respect in chat, that would be nice. But yeah, Shiva turns into a super monster, and then we gotta go kill her. So it's basically like the complete opposite of Marley and Me. Don't cry. Yeah, so what's interesting here is like he runs out of bullets, and it takes us a good couple minutes to eventually get there, yeah? So that means he has to be like just bare fist boxing that dog for a while, I guess. Like, what a legend, you know what I'm saying? The Legend 27. Alright, cool. We want to put the G19 on the M11. Okay, cool. Brilliant. Ah! So if you're accidentally holding left right there, you go, or right, like you should be, you go back a screen, you actually have to wait a tiny bit before you start holding it. Oh, this is, oh, I got really, really lucky with the placement of that web. Now this fight's actually deceptively dangerous, because this guy can put a, that guy can put a defense down on you, and then he can, and then the spider can just go to town on you, and it's rough. It's rough, even. Damn it. Sorry, I was thinking about like I should have saved, but we're just gonna YOLO it. I have faith. What's the best gun in a casual long play run? I couldn't tell you honestly. I know that there's a gun in the that we use that has Inner 3 and all that stuff and like burst, but it's in like the New Game Plus version of this game. So I don't know about just actual casual playthrough. Okay, so that's the last thing we want to see happen right off the bat, because it half healths you. Okay, so we're actually in a really bad spot here. I'm going to have to manually heal. And the reason I did that is because if you're ever below 75 HP, it's pretty easy to die to that attack you just saw. So that was a good decision. But if you're at 40 HP or less, you can just run into Shiva, take contact damage, and trigger your vest. So seeing Shiva heal right there means the fight's going to last a couple extra turns no matter what. Oh, I'm bad. Come on, there we go. Yeah, that's a shame to see Shiva heal that much, but we haven't died yet. Wow, a 3 heal Shiva fight. Yeah, I have 2 revives, that's true. I usually don't even use 1. But if I ever do die in a run, this is where it happens. This is taking an exceptionally long time. Okay, hopefully I can trigger. Oh, wow, okay. But we don't want to pick up her gun here. Okay, brilliant. So I was right outside the HP threshold. 36 HP is actually where you can trigger your medicine in that situation, and I was just right outside of it. But it's okay. This new Pokemon game is crazy. Yeah, it is. It is nuts. Yeah, we actually do have a spider we fight in this game, and she is a nightmare. But it's pretty easy to work around. Once you kind of have an idea for how it works, and you get a little bit lucky on the very first attack, spider is usually no issue. Honestly, the vest that we use in this game is really OP. the fact that it just uses your medicine for you when you fall below a quarter health is really awesome. Yeah, it seemed like a close one. I had two chances to die, so I was more than fine in that fight, but I'd really rather not die, just in general. Rule of thumb. Yeah, blaze it. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm gonna throw it on the other side of the room. I'll stop doing it. That's gotta be annoying. I apologize. It's a sickness. So here we do a lot of good running, just through the mangled police department. The next part of the run is the hospital. It's probably the most important part of the entire run because it's where you get the good gun or the not so good gun. And you have 4 chances to get repeat encounters. So like runs can literally die really easily in the hospital. Who doesn't blaze it in 2017? Yeah. Hey, it's the mitochondria, man. I actually, my mitochondria stays advanced because I feed it copious amounts of nicotine. Read the lore. But yeah, right now we have some talking. We're discussing some stuff. That's really it. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say. The hospital has 4 instances of repeat encounters. One of them is really bad to get twice, there's like and the rest of them are kind of meh. They're not so bad. If you get them, you get them. But one of them sucks to get because it takes forever. We also have our first encounter with mixed men, which are probably the slowest enemies to fight in the game. They purely exist to make speedruns really unfun. Okay, I wanted to make sure I went to the correct hospital spot right there. Sometimes I overcommit to that and I end up going left or right as opposed to left. Regardless, a new lore. Yeah, trust me, it's my fan fiction I wrote. It's a project I'm still working on. But yeah, like I said, this game is, since there's some downtime, this game is fun. It's really interesting, it's really unique, it's really easy to learn. So if you're looking for a game to speedrun, you want to run a game that not a whole lot of people know so that you can be competitive, give it a try. PSP is the fastest version of the game, and then all the various PS2 models with fast disk speed, PS3, and then I think that's pretty much it. I don't know about PS TV and PS Vita because like I have no idea what those even are. Dude, the car cutscenes are wild. And like I can't believe that they thought that'd be a good idea. They're like, let's just have this Back to the Future-esque light blur going on because they're driving everywhere in a hurry. But like in order for that to take place, you got to be going like hundreds of miles per hour, right? Police officers at that, you know? Mitochondria. Yeah, I actually sub out mitochondria, and in place I use vaping and fidget spinners. It's called like How to Never Be Loved by Anyone, Parasite Eve rendition by Carrie Palmer. It really is. Thank you. It is, as far as casual playthrough, and even to an extent for speed games. Like, it really is a game that nobody else ever made. And for good reason. Like, it didn't do great. I believe it still went greatest hits. But even still, like, it's a game that you will never see anywhere else. Not even the other games in the series are like this. So, yeah, it's absolutely unique. It's worth playing once, even if it's just to make jokes about it like everybody's doing in chat. Ah, it was the mitochondria engine. You're right. You're right. How could I be so foolish? It's funny you bring it up because later on in the game, there's one point where she is in a helicopter, and nobody's guns work, but because she's in the helicopter, all of a sudden her guns work, as if like her mitochondria affects the guns on the outside of the helicopter. So you could be right. Yeah, there is actually, like, as far as like casual playthrough, there's tons of hours you can clock into this game, because the modding of weapons is very, very cool. Like, you can make some crazy stuff happen, like mix and match stuff. I've actually been trying to get the people, the other runners, to buy into my club % speed run, where you just use a club the entire time. I don't know if it's even possible, but it would be fun. That's what I should have done, right? It's just attempted club %. I just think I probably would have not succeeded. So, but yeah, it's like, you know, that Resident Evil has knife % or whatever, and there's different clubs in the game. It would just take a really long time. So this is the first of the 4 forced encounters we get. When we progress back through this room, we obviously don't want to see this encounter again. These little flying bee things, they use a slow that's really, really troublesome, but you can kind of bait it out on where they're going to land. It's going to land. The issue is that the little poison pod who shoots the ball at you can sometimes knock you into it. Like that. So I'm just poisoned, not slowed. That's actually pretty favorable. The Parasite Eve movie? Yeah, I actually watched it. I actually watched the Parasite Eve movie, because it's on YouTube, and about the same kind of quality as this game is. And it is hilarious. It's obviously, it's in Japanese, so you have to read subtitles, but it is quality. It's like Sharknado level of quality. Is that a Roomba? Basically, it's like, I call them poison pods. Like, the enemies in this game don't really have, like, names. I know that this lizard over here is called a rat man, or a fire lizard or something. Well, actually, I think they might. Hold on, let me see. No, I guess not. I guess you could scan it. You get like a scan ability, I think, later on. See, I'm not sure. Wish I could tell you, but I don't know crap about this game. Right here, we gotta manage inventory, so I'm actually purposefully taking those hits of damage because I want to start popping my medicine. And when you're fighting these poison-based enemies, it's a good way for you to pop that medicine. So bad RNG. So far, we're 2 for 3 on repeat encounters. So right there, I kind of wait a little bit because it baits out that second use of the slow. If you get caught in this slow, you're losing at least 20 seconds. It's that bad. The slow in this game is just trashed here. Oh, gotta sort my inventory. Lizard called Ratman. I think that's what he's called. I always call him the Lizard, and everybody in Discord is like, it's Ratman. How dare you? I'm like, dude, sorry, I don't know. He's garbage. That's all he is to me. He means nothing. Dude, through mitochondria, all things can be done. Like, that's all you need to know about this game. Story doesn't matter. Guns doesn't matter. None of this stuff matters except for the fact that mitochondria reign supreme. Wait till you see Liberate. That's when you truly just have to bow down to the might that is mitochondria. So right here is where we either get the micro Uzi or the M10. Before I started running this game, if you got the M10 from this box, it was a reset, or like right when I started. Now we have like workarounds for it, but it's slower. We got the micro Uzi. God dang it! Every time I do a run that doesn't matter, I get the micro Uzi. But every time I'm going for world records or improving my times, I can't get the micro Uzi. This is bull, dude. I hate this game. Okay, we'll make sure we do this right. M79. And the M92F, micro Uzi. Cool. And the reason we upgrade those guns in the way that we do is because they give range increase, damage increase, and bullet capacity increase. And some of them, even though they give similar stats, have them in better spots. Now this is a mixed man right here. What he does is he has 2 attacks, right? Ooh, that was a really, really good fight. He has 2 attacks. The first attack is that he does an AoE slow, undodgeable. Sometimes you dodge stuff because you get weird invincibility frames for no reason. No one knows why. But otherwise undodgeable, and it puts a slow on you. And then his second attack is to throw that bouncing ball that just bounces all over the room. So it slows you and creates another enemy for your gun that fires at random targets to have to hit. So you can kind of understand how, pieced together, he's like the worst thing ever. Mitochondria gifted me. Yep. True, true. It's funny, every time I run a marathon, I've gotten Micro Uzi. Every single time. But when I, like, my world record run is with the M10. So you're really having to, like, compete at that point. If somebody had, the previous record was done with a Micro Uzi. So, like, you really have to, you really struggle. Yeah, so right there, that screen, all the controls are completely turned around. So I still, to this day, will struggle with it. Especially when I don't pay attention like I was just doing. Oh, you know what? So this will make this fight a little bit faster. Usually I wait on that menu, but it's good to do now. So we fight 4 poison pods. I guess I should explain since I haven't already. When you use the when you use a, what are they called, SMG type weapon, these machine guns, they have an element to occasionally use a 3rd bullet, right? They shoot twice, but as you can see, I use 3 bullets pretty frequently. But because of that, you have to accept the fact that it's going to target everything randomly, so you can't choose your targets. And we don't switch off of that until late in the run. But they're the fastest guns, attack speed wise, reload wise, and do a considerable amount of damage. Plus the Micro Uzi has a ton of slots on it to where you can mod it. This fight went well. The M10 has less damage and has fewer slots for you to modify. Which means we have to sacrifice getting one of the best mods in the game, which is Quick Draw, which basically pretty often gives you full ATB at the start of every fight, which you can understand is kind of a big deal. So right here is the last of the forced encounters, and then we have to progress through every single screen that we just went through. So it can be quite annoying. This is the worst encounter to get. Remember I said there was one that's super, super bad to get. Because this one it takes forever. I'm getting pretty good RNG with the gun. In a dream scenario, all your bullets target one target and you eliminate things one at a time. How often does it happen? Almost never. Almost never. Oh, you know what? I forgot that that's even a thing. I'm sorry. I really should have done that. I should have had her shock herself. I forget that that's a thing, man. Once you do it for so long, it's all like muscle memory. Spoiler alert: she shocks herself because for some reason she touches the live wires. Quick Draw is at high noon. It is high noon. I think Aya is actually significantly cooler than McCree, but that's just me. I think McCree is actually kind of lame, if we're being honest. Whereas Aya, like, she's out here slaying aliens, saving the world by herself with freaking waist-high blue jeans and a leather jacket. Like, come on. If this isn't 90s, I don't know what is. And God, this run. Okay, so I would have reset definitely by now. We're getting really not good luck. Ooh, we might actually. So see right here, because all the monsters move like completely randomly and independently. Sometimes they get stuck on each other, and it just completely means that they won't act until they get freed. Which is hilarious and very beneficial in a few situations. This one in particular. So I'm actually going to sort right here. just because I need to get rid of these. Cure M's get rid of slow, but they cost obviously a turn to use, which is garbage. Cure P cures poison, but poison cures itself. All your status effects wear off at the end of a fight. Oh my god. This run is trash. It's because I got the micro Uzi, that's what it is. And then I ended all the way down there. Reset. Yeah, we're gonna run it back. There's a lot that hasn't been said about this game so far. And mitochondria. Oh my god. Hopefully one of the other runners is watching this right now, so they can just cringe with me. It's actually good to take all that damage. You know what? It's not. I should have thought about that. I'm not going to be low enough. Can you cure mitochondria? No. No, you can't. Based on my limited biology expertise, mitochondria is like a... You know, it's uncurable. It's like being a jerk. Having your name be Chad. Like, these are just things you can't avoid in life. Even though, like, it probably would be in your best interest to do so. I just lost 3 viewers named Chad right there. It feels bad. Right here we're going to cure, because this guy does a really strange amount of damage. Not really sure why, and I can only consistently dodge one of his attacks. So it's a giant jelly, right? Can we come over here? And we just run away? Oh, I got them both, boys. You're seeing history in the making. I don't know how Parasite Eve 2 works, because I've never played it. It looked too much like for some reason to me, I felt like they regressed with graphics and gameplay style. I felt like it went backwards, even though it should have like been a. Granted, they were still on the PlayStation 1, but I felt like the game was made worse for some reason. We're all mitochondria, you know. Inside, we're all a little bit mitochondria, aren't we? We all got a little mitochondria inside us. So unfortunately, because I decided to heal, good thing you didn't reset. Yeah, that's true. I was like, why? Why is it a good thing? And I was like, oh yeah. Okay, see right there is an instance of when you get invincibility frames, you take 0 damage from stuff. I still got slowed, but it's just one of those weird instances where you can sometimes... So this fight went super well. Usually we use energy shot to kill the mixed man as fast as possible, because that fight can usually take like a minute. But it went really well without energy shot, so that's nice to see. Doesn't overcome the fact that we've gotten every single random encounter in so far except one. The easiest one in the NYPD. Also, it's worth noting that I've died at probably every single encounter in this game has probably killed me at one point in time. This one is haunts my dreams till the day I die. I was like 2 minutes ahead of my world record pace at the time, which is still... I don't know if it would beat the current time. And this guy killed me because I was too lazy to heal. Or I was like, I didn't want to heal. I was like, there's no way he kills me. He did. This thing on the ground, is that what you're talking about? That's a mixed man. He is a... I'm not really sure what he consists of, but he just randomly throws out bouncing balls, and he does an AoE slow. So he's my least favorite thing in the game, besides the bats. Bats are the worst. If you let him peg, see right there, invincibility frames. Nobody really knows why. And then he follows it up. Oh, here we go. It's just me and you, Mixed Man, and you're bouncing balls. Yeah, that went alright. Take like 20 damage while running into boss and drop prone and dodge large possibility. Dude, I wish that this game had mechanics like that. Because right now, it's just pretty much stand somewhere, don't get hit. If you get hit, pray you don't die. That's how you play this game. I guess that's how you play most games. Oh my god. Worst case scenario. That's what happens when you get all the encounters in the game. Is that what you think it is? His brain? I don't know, man. He's got a lot of them. He chucks those bad boys out like crazy sometimes. So right here, we're going to use BP. Going to reload the gun. Or unload it, rather. That's good enough. The next, this is a boss fight we're about to come up on. Because I have 2 revives, I don't feel like I need to save. We're on pretty good pace for it, I think, so far. It's a giant spider, right? The run is, this fight is kind of dependent on RNG. So if he takes a step back, as soon as the fight begins, you're going to get webbed, and it's going to make the fight pretty dangerous. If he takes a step forward, you're good to go, and you can kind of proceed as normal, which usually is pretty hard to die. I've still pulled it off, but typically it's pretty hard to die. So we want to see the spider step forward. Is the whole chat mitochondrial memes? It's pretty much, yeah. We've had some quality jokes otherwise, and also we did a which girl is best girl, so that was something. Okay, so let's see. Did we get lucky? Okay, cool. He took a step forward. So if he steps back, he will use a slowing attack on you. Holy crap. Dude, he went to town on my face right there. Brilliant. And that's why we don't really fear the spider, because his attacks usually trigger your vest perfectly. So it's not even worth dodging. Right here we run away. We shoot him. Okay, no crits, so we're gonna have to shoot him 3 times probably. Well, I could die here. Okay, we're gonna YOLO it. Just energy shot. He's in a really good spot, so if this kills him, it'll actually save me some frames. It did. Brilliant. Yeah, brain spider. It does look like a brain, or like a potato maybe. Old axe waifu is best girl. Okay. 8-legged freaks? Yeah, what happened to the 8-legged freaks? Well, I guess we missed it. Because when they said you were live to me, I was like, I think you got the wrong guy, right? But they didn't. They didn't have the wrong guy. But I wasn't watching because I was setting it up, so I didn't know if the run had already gone down and he had gone on like some crazy world record binge, or if he had just withdrawn. But regardless, here we are, shots fired in all its glory. We got a couple hundred viewers at this hour of the day. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty awesome. Watching me play a game that is not good. Like, I watched those runners run the Jedi Knights today, and I literally cried to myself because I was like, wow, how lame. My game is so slow and boring, and these guys are out here doing this crazy business. Alright, so right here we have to escape the roof. Now, they don't really do a very good job of telling you how. And they don't tell you that if you don't do it quickly enough, you die. So it's kind of just like in a casual playthrough. Just remember that. 8-legged freaks took 4 minutes. Europe is waking up right now. Yeah, most of my viewers are actually European. I have one guy that no matter when or what time I stream, what day, if I take breaks, he's always there. So naturally I modded him, but yeah, he's from Europe as well. So maybe that's just my market. That's my demo. Okay, so we didn't kill this guy in the first attack round, which sucks. Because all this time is wasted time. It was the Jedi Knights are show-offs. Nah, man, that was incredible to watch. I was like, wow, these guys are running so fast. Like, I play the game where this might be the slowest movement in a game, period. Like, even Resident Evil and Silent Hill, like, dumpster this game as far as the speed of the movement. Even regular Final Fantasies. Or die like 4 times there. Yeah, well, the sucky part is, you gotta fight the spider every time, right? So, like, if you die on the roof right there because you don't get off fast enough, you gotta fight the spider again. Only Americans are capable of memes so shitty. Everybody knows that. American pride. I'm American as well, my friend. So right there is a door we can actually save some frames on if we hit it on the exact correct frame. There's a few doors like that in the game. All in all, it means really nothing, but it's important to note. Gives me something to talk about. So right here, we just sit in the police department. Hey, I'm gonna mute my mic and just go to town on my cigarette real quick. Oh yeah, boys. I'm feeling good now. Wow, we're 2 seconds ahead. That's good. So because we got the micro Uzi, we're going to make a trip to the warehouse right here. I overshot it by a lot. Yeah. Oh man. So much of this game, like if you gotta embrace the mitochondria and not resist. And that's how you truly transcend as a Parasite Eve speedrunner. I do love this game. I love being a speedrunner of this game, and I like being proud of my times in this game. But yeah, to like the general audience, it's a really obscure game, man. It's really strange. Okay, so right here we get quick draw. Okay, so I'm actually ahead of where I should be, BP wise. So that means I've played fights pretty well. I guess. Now when I speedrun this, you'll notice a lot of the speedrunners kind of dodge attack. A lot of times I face tank everything and just let my vest do the work, and it saves me time having to menu and stuff. And it's not because I'm like that good at the game that I've got it figured out. I'm just not very good, and it's kind of a benefit at some point. 2 seconds ahead, world record pace. Oh no, we're 2 seconds ahead of my last marathon. Let me see what my PB. We're about 8 minutes behind. Maybe not 8. See, current pace is a 3:05. There's a 3:04:47. I think my PB is a 2:57:58. But actually, every encounter is about 30 seconds, if not more, and we've gotten almost every single one so far. That really makes up for most of it. Don't be a dude. Oh my god. So I'm actually gonna have to heal here. Yeah, dude, it's next level strats, right? Next level strats. Do things poorly, save time. Everybody calls it, they say, you play so aggressive. Yeah. Sure. You'll notice throughout the course of the game, Meta gives you a lot of stuff that you can't actually get out of your inventory. They just exist to take up space. I don't really know if they have like a real reason in the game casually, or like maybe in the new game plus. I don't know, but as far as what I've experienced, I hate them. Okay, so this fight is probably the worst fight in the whole game because of those moves right there. They're blind. They're pretty easy to dodge if you're not greedy. Oh my gosh, the perfect bat fight. The perfect bat fight. We did it. We did it. Okay, so you get blind right there, first of all, and it lasts 4 turns, which is an exceptionally long time. And because of that fight, I don't, like, until after that fight, you don't have any way to cure the blindness. So how it works is the monsters in this game give you the remedies to the debuffs they put on you. So the first time you encounter a new enemy, you obviously have no way to deal with that. Dude, I am playing out of my mind on these bats. I'm so proud of myself. So yeah, the Cure Ds. Cure D is what cures blindness. This right here is a possible encounter, and we got it, of course. So right now we are 6 of 7. This might be the worst repeat encounter in the game because it's blinds and slows. And you have no idea when they're going to use it. You just gotta hope that you can squeeze in attacks and you get lucky. Oop. And then you come over here as close as you can and you try to shoot them and kill them. And that's Parasite even in a nutshell. Ooh, got it. One of the big issues though is that these bats, if you keep... So right there, usually you don't get a fight. You just progress through that screen. Same thing with this screen. You don't get a fight. Oh my god. This might be the worst RNG I've ever had in a run. And I got blinded. At least, guess we can use one of these Cure Ds. Cure D, not to be confused with any kind of birth control. I'm doing this on purpose, is what I would like to say. To clear inventory space. See, right there, sometimes you get in random invincibility frames. Just like I just did. So we got every single fight in this. Usually you get 2, and we got all 4. So, that's not swell. I'm not going to be in trouble if I go over like 30 seconds or a minute, am I? Because, unless I have like an incredible RNG museum, that's a possibility. So we have one more bat fight, and he's right up here. And this fight is super annoying because you start off all the way down this bridge, and if he blinds you before you get to him, sometimes this fight can take a super long time. Like 3 or 4 turns as opposed to just the 1. And we got, okay, good RNG. Cure D, not to be confused with initial D. Yes, correct. We want to keep 1 Cure D. Because, okay, we're ahead of schedule. Alright, thank you. You want to keep 1 Cure D because the boss we're about to fight here in a second, Centipede, he can blind you. And if he does, you're in for a really bad time. Centipede is one of the actual harder fights in the game as far as like how hard the boss is. So we keep one of those, and later on, right before Centipede, we get a Cure P so that we're covered if he either poisons or blinds. This takes place in America, North America. in the America. You know what I'm saying? The ladder is so wide. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's never really thought about it. I've never been to the sewers, so I'm not entirely sure what the standard is for sewer ladders. So right there, I take that second one slow because if you screw it up, you lose like a good 5 seconds. God dang it. Canada, best America? Yeah. Oh, goodness. I actually have a cousin who lives in Alberta. I believe is how you say Alberta. Regardless, I love it. I think it's the greatest place on earth. But then again, I live in Texas, so I'm not really an expert on greatest places on earth. Typical American sewers. Trust me, I know a guy who's an expert on American sewers. We're going to save right here because Centipede is exceptionally punishing. I believe this is ammo over here, so we might as well get it. Nope, it's medicine. Even better. So as you can see, sometimes you just get stuck on random stuff. Okay, I think I should be good inventory-wise. A lot of people actually have really good things to say about the soundtrack in this game. Wow, this is a really, really slow fight. We got the cure P though, which is the most important part. So here we're going to pick up this chest, then we're going to heal. Oh, and use. Oh, we don't have any. I guess we're good then. Just want to make sure I don't do anything right or wrong. And here's Centipede, one of the trickier fights in the game. Oh, and I don't have the mana for haste. Oh wow, he didn't open up with. He didn't open up with poison, which is unfortunate because I'm not very good at dodging it, and it's really hard to dodge when he uses it second. Okay, cool, we got lucky. So we didn't see poison. Now because you target stuff randomly, this fight is an absolute nightmare. Because distance determines how much damage you do. It's really bad luck. You just gotta stand closer to two sides and hope that you do work. And see right there, we shot all the worst targets. This is gonna be a long fight. Okay, so as soon as one of these dies, okay, I might actually be able to do it now. I'm going to use Energy Shot. I don't usually do that, especially on that piece. But it could help speed this fight up tremendously. Okay, cool. Brilliant. Alright, cool. So it ended up going well. So as you can see, it's very easy to die. It's very easy to go through lots of medicine. Now the fight's over. Sing the praises. Now we use all the medicine we have to heal up. Oh, and here's where we start using our bonus points in attack. Also, there's a disc swap in this game. and it's about to take place. It's really odd. This game has 2 discs, and it doesn't happen at like a storyboard moment, like, you know, there's no cliffhanger swap disc situation. It's just like, hey, right here, you're just gonna swap. Now you got to make sure you do that slowly, because if you do it right as the insert disc 2 thing pops up, you soft lock. Each part has different, yeah, exactly right. So for the centipede, it starts off as one body, right? When it splits, each part has different HP. Because I went into that fight and casted haste, since I had bad parasite energy, I wasn't able to energy shot right off the bat, which is what we usually do when he splits, and it gets rid of one of the pieces. But it's kind of irrelevant. The fight went just about as well as I figured it would, which is not good. But yeah, it all has different pieces of health. The body or the head and tail have more HP than the 2 torso pieces. Yeah. And right here we're going to the museum. This is probably my best leg of the game. This is probably where I do the best. It's also probably the biggest as far as RNG on encounters. Like, I think there's the most in this area as opposed to the others. I think there's 6 here. So you got that guy just being a regular old creep. And she's like, whatever, not a big deal. We're just going to continue. This is probably the hardest part of the run. I've actually been working on a new strat for this section of the run, but I didn't want to try it here because I still have no idea if it's ever going to work. But this is the first encounter with a scorpion, right, which are one of the most annoying enemies in the game. They do insane amounts of work on you if you're not careful. If I get quick draw to start the fight off, I'm going to actually start with haste. Oh, I don't have the mana. Parasite energy, I'm sorry. Okay, cool. You gotta be able to dodge. So what happens is he always attacks in front of him. As soon as you attack, he will almost always counter with an attack in front of himself. As you can see, he just critted me for 118 damage. Okay, so that went alright. He has one move that's a poison move that stun locks you and applies it in waves, so it just sits there stun locking you, applying damage. Those guys can really do mad work. These little green things you see here, they're nasty. They can stun lock you pretty bad as well. The raptor, the big guy, just annoying because they never get close to you when you need them to be. And they do a good amount of damage. So they're just sucky to see in general. Pterodactyls are probably the best thing to see in this run. Just because pterodactyls are super, super easy to kill. They give a lot of EXP, and there's usually only one of them. Mana. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, right? Parasite energy, whatever. How dare me. But these guys suck because they jump around. And because we're still targeting randomly, if they jump around in bad spots, you just miss sometimes. Nothing you can do about it. It is nice having the micro Uzi. I haven't had this. See right here, really bad spot. Luckily I stood in a good position to get them both. And then they give you junk. Okay, cool. They give you junk with a chance to give you medicine. And we just saw the medicine. I'm gonna keep the Cure D because pterodactyls can blind you. Doesn't happen very often, but they can. And the reason I sort my inventory there is because we're about to have a scripted armadillo fight, and the armadillos drop the best health or the best medicines in the game. Medicine 4s, which do a ton of healing. Ideally, you get 3. It's really, really rare that you get 2 in a full life, which is like the worst item in the game. These guys are cool to fight because they, you can kind of force them to move in the way that you like. So you can kind of bait their movement, and that way you get them kind of close together. They just take a lot of health because they're pretty tanky. Alright, cool. We got 3 medicine 4s, nice. How dare he get the mitochondrial lore incorrect. True. So right now we've only missed 2 random encounters, and now we've missed 3. So we're doing work now, boys. This is where the time save comes into play. So what is that? 6 of 9, I believe. 7 of 9. 7 of 10. There's 6 of 9. The museum puzzle? I don't even know what the museum puzzle is. Is that a thing? If it is, we don't do it in the speed run. I have no idea what the museum puzzle means. Is that like a huge part of the game that I'm missing out on? What a shame. Okay, so right here, you can get either 1 raptor or 2 raptors, and we got 1, so that's awesome. 6 of 9. Yeah, we're 6 of 9 right now. Can I get some 6 and 9s in chat? And 2 armadillos as opposed to 3. So that's beneficial as well. Alright, cool. That went alright. That little leg of screens. Those are all forced encounters, so the only way to do better one run as opposed to the next is to just get the fewer spawns in each encounter. This encounter is, you always get this no matter what. These guys are annoying. Those raptors look like rats. Everything in this game looks like a rat to me, man. Everybody's like, no, that's a fire boy. Or that's a lizard man. I'm like, dude, that's just a big rat. The rat tours. Wow. We want to get rid of this junk because we get 2 medicine 4s in these next few rooms, and I want to make sure that I don't drop those. Or I don't miss my opportunity to acquire them, because we'll probably need them for T-Rex and Triceratops. So pterodactyls are amazing because they usually die in 2 attack rotations. I say that and then they don't. And even if they don't, they drop good medicine and they almost always never hit you. At least when they're alone, one-on-one. So in this next screen, we can either get 1 pterodactyl, which is very fast, or we can get 3 lizards and a raptor, which is very, very slow. Ah, wow. Feels bad. Feels exceptionally bad. 4 targets, especially all 4 that stun lock you, that's not good. Please. Mercy. Okay, cool. Oh wow, are you serious? Thank you. And we got 3 pieces of junk for that fight. Which, oh, just 2, I guess. So we were full inventory there, what a waste. Right here we want a pterodactyl, and we got it, solid. Okay, because I got a crit on the first round, he should die at a second. Well done. It's refreshing to see his game so historically accurate. I agree, very relatable. Like, I don't know if any of you were in New York in 1997 for Christmas, but this really went down. True story. This is not Overwatch. Sorry, I say Mercy all the time. Even though Mercy is bae. I don't really play Overwatch, but I enjoy dabbling in some Overwatch related culture. We'll leave it at that. this happened, I was there. I could tell you some stories. Okay, so right here we could get a pterodactyl or this. Obviously we want a pterodactyl. These guys suck. So my backup, the strat that I said I was working on, it would have actually done really well in this museum. Because we utilize the ice bullets from the gun centipede drops. And it makes anytime you fight raptors faster. But if you don't get a whole lot of raptors, then it's negligible. So right here we're going to use a lot of medicine. Use our BP and reload because we have a scorpion right through this door, and we need our PE to use energy shot to make this fight a little faster. We might not get the scorpion. Okay, cool. We did. So we energy shot this guy to make it just a one-on-one fight, which makes Scorpion a little easier to deal with. He's still not exceptionally easy to deal with, especially when he does that crap. I got pretty lucky with that. Yeah, that's the poison attack I was talking about. If you get stuck in the middle of that, you get hit with every single little individual cloud, and it stun locks you into place and does disgusting damage. So right here we can either get 2 or 3 little green guys. And dude, this is the run, man. If only it wasn't just awful up until this point. I have great museum luck for some reason, I'm not sure why. Okay, that's fine. I used a lot of medicine, so I should be good on inventory sorting for a little while. There's a hidden chest right there we need for tool. All right, cool. This is the good arrangement of this fight. It's unfortunate because sometimes they space each other out really bad. And it's hard to hit them both, but that actually went really well. No! I should just let him roll to me, honestly. Because it would take longer to run there, shoot him, and run back than it would to just let him come to me and progress to the next screen. So we've actually made up a good amount of time. I'm only about 5 minutes behind my world record right now. As opposed to the 8 we were earlier, so that's good. Okay, so there's the blind. Luckily I saved a Cure D. I guess I could have just made it done an energy shot there and it would have made it a little bit easier, but you lose value considering I started the fight off without energy shot. See, these guys space each other out like that. It makes it very annoying. Oh, that was good drops. Good drops. Sorry if my AC comes on and it's loud. It's a weird apartment. We're only 5 behind world record. We're ahead of estimated time pace though, so that's good. That's what matters. So right here, there's actually a secret room. You run this direction, you hold down and right, and eventually you'll get to this this elevator. You take it to floor 4, and you get a shotgun and a tool, which are super, super important later on to make our gun do stupid amounts of damage. Do we have a piece of junk? We do. Cool. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. It is. You're not wrong. Where's Cure P? I thought I saw one. I'm trying to give myself a little bit of inventory space here because the next couple fights drop pretty valuable medicine. Mitochondria Park is a good way to wait till you see this cutscene that's about to take place, and you'll be really, really jazzed. Yeah, so, cool cutscene. She basically can bring any inanimate object to life. What is this, Yeah, anytime that there's like a Parasite Eve stream, most people, what they know about it, what they take away from this game is the word mitochondria. Okay, so we didn't get a repeat encounter right there, so now we're 6 out of 10, which is unfortunate for meme purposes. Now we're 6 out of 11. All of a sudden, things are changing for us. This was a very long cutscene, and also the reason that I sorted my inventory, because there's 2 pieces of items that you have to pick up, and I need to make sure that I have inventory space for that, because if you can't not pick them up, right? It won't progress with the cutscene, so you got to make sure that you have the space for it. There's been times where I've been mashing like I am now, texting on my phone, and I've just sat there like smashing the switch inventory button without realizing it, because I play the game with the game muted. I usually listen to music and stuff. And you sit here and you mash, and that's Parasite Eve, ladies and gentlemen. Anytime you see Clamp, this professor right here, you know you're in for a really bad, really long sequence of mashing. It's very, very lame in that regard. I just saw that you said dinosaurs will give you mitochondria, and a skeleton will give you phytochondria. See, that's the kind of quality that I appreciate from this chat. Um, that's so well done that it kind of took me a moment. I was in awe. So then who is Kyle? I'm not sure. But right now we mash. This guy bursts into flames. Everybody jumps out the 2-story building window. Real cool action sequence. Actually, you'll see in my opinion, one of the coolest action cutscenes in all of gaming at the very end of this run. It's so sick. It's so sick. I won't spoil it because I want you to witness it firsthand. That's how dope it is. But yeah, it's amazing. I think it's mitochondria when you can have lamb. Oh goodness. You guys are killing me. So in this next room we can get a repeat encounter. Let's hope we don't. And then if we do, it's a pterodactyl. It's actually unfortunate. We want all the repeat encounters to happen in the museum and not anywhere else in the run, because the museum gives you the most EXP, and you have to hit a certain EXP threshold to be able to win the fights at the end of the game with ease. Otherwise it costs a lot of time. Not pretty much mitochondria. Yeah, what time is it here? I don't know. Are you Central Time? I don't have a clock near me. It is, yeah, 4 o'clock. Wow, how about that? I applaud you guys and thank you for staying awake to watch this incredible game run by an incredible runner. So our inventory is full, but that's fine. We want to unload our gun right here and heal with medicine, because we're about to fight pterodactyl. I'm sorry, we're about to fight triceratops. Tough phytochondria. But yeah, if you guys want to see some cool dinosaurs, here you go. Yo, keep the ochondrias coming, man. They're killing me. I've not been this entertained playing this game probably ever. So right here we immediately start with energy shot. Nope, definitely not scan. Well, that was almost really awful. Like, besides energy shot, haste, and liberate, every single spell you have is pure garbage. This guy has two phases. One is a very difficult, very annoying phase, which is when he has this hat on, or his skull, I guess, where he does this really hard to dodge charge move, and he has increased defense. So right now we're just nuking him, hoping our attacks don't miss. One more attack and then we can energy shot to end it. That should kill him. Brilliant. Okay, and I got ammo. So right now we use bonus points. We get healed automatically. Oh, we're actually doing really well on bonus points. Okay, we're good on ammo as well. Oh, I need to check. Oh, crap. Nah, we should be fine for the rest of the run. Fire mitochondria. Jeez. You guys are really reaching now. This is pretty impressive. So here's the T-Rex that everybody is so excited about, I'm sure. First we pick up some medicine and some ammo. Not in that order, obviously. And then we fight the T-Rex. Now the T-Rex can go a couple different ways. Because I use energy shot to kill the last monster, it kind of puts a damper on my ability to use haste right off the bat because I'm out of Parasite energy. So it makes this fight a little bit slower. Ideally, you want to either open up with energy shot if you have full PE, and haste if you have like a little bit. And because we have neither, we're just gonna have to sit here and take a couple of lucky shots. Now you're gonna see me take a lot of contact damage. I do that on purpose just because if I'm taking contact damage, I know I'm in range to do full damage. Because of the shape of him, his hitbox is very wonky, and sometimes, see, like right there, I bounced too far back. So now we're gonna cast haste since he's jumping. How has the run been going? The runs as a whole have been going great. Shots fired is definitely doing work. As far as my run, it's Parasite Eve, so you know, it could be better. We could be watching people argue about which Resident Evil is the least worst. Shots fired. And that, obviously, I knew that wouldn't kill him, but, and see, there's another instance of invincibility frames. Don't ask me how, don't ask me why. There's a lot of parts of this game that nobody understands. And it went well. Alright, so now is my favorite part of the run. It's where we get, basically an automatic shotgun. I'm gonna make sure that I don't screw this up, so I'm gonna do it slow. Oops, that's a little too slow. Okay, brilliant. Okay, thought so. Alright, awesome. So that actually went really, really well. As far as speed and as far as like resources are concerned. This is one of the hardest triggers to hit in the game. And we got it first try. Not really, but still. Silent Hill is my favorite Resident Evil. I actually wrote the notes for Silent Hill, and then lost interest in the speedrun because it was too hard to remember where I was all the time. I struggled with it, man. Respect the people who run that game. Okay, so we got an encounter here we don't usually get, so that's okay. We fire more bullets, and now we can select what we want to shoot. So it's all gravy from here, boys. We don't want this next encounter because there's usually 3 of them and it's kind of slow. And we got it. So I think we ended the day with 8 of 14 encounters. It's not good at all, actually. That's really bad. The reason I'm positioning the way I am is because now we hit multiple targets. I think you should Parasite leave. Oh, man. Yeah, y'all's wordplay game is fire. Okay, level 33. So we want to be level 33, and we want to hit level 33 on this very last fight we're about to get. But because we're already level 33, that means that we've had not good RNG throughout the run. So I would have probably reset a long time ago. If not, I would have reset now. But here's another cool cutscene. More dinosaurs. Who doesn't love dinosaurs, you know what I mean? Speaking of which, I am trying to learn Dino Crisis, so that game seems something. Now we have a forced fight here that usually gives us a lot of ammo, so we kind of have to hope that that's the case. We want him to roll back towards us. As you can see, there's not really a rhyme or reason. It's like a fan shape. Okay, cool. We got good ammo. It's like a fan shape. It's not in a direct line, so sometimes it's pretty generous about the stuff that you hit. Getting Parasite peeved. Oh, goodness. Alright, now here's 10 minutes of mashing and cutscenes. A lot of cool cutscenes, though. A lot of cool cutscenes. So let me think. We should be... Oh, wow. We saved a lot of time on this split. So we'll start the fight at 2:34. We'll probably be done with it by 2:36, if not 2:36:30, which means we saved about a minute and a half as opposed to the pace the run was going. So yeah, we're back on pace for the estimate, which is brilliant considering how unlucky a few different points about this game have been so far. Parasite beef. Right here, you're going to see a bunch of really cool cutscenes in conjunction, and I'm going to mash through some text. She's pregnant, which they didn't really include in the game, but to understand better, it really takes watching the movie or reading the book, which I do recommend go watch the movie if you want some late night lulz. But she's pregnant now, yeah? She's just got tits all over the place. She's huge. The story is that she had to reproduce with a human. She needed human sperm, obviously, to create a child. But this child would be given advanced mitochondria from the source itself, would be the ultimate being, would transcend humanity, would eventually replicate asexually, and be basically the new superior species of humanity on Earth, wiping out all humans in the process. That's kind of mitochondria, Jesus Christ. That's kind of a quick story. I feel like they didn't want to incorporate the part where she had to like molest somebody to get sperm, because they were like, nah, dude, it's a teen rating. I'm pretty sure it might be mature. I can check, but yeah, for some reason the forced banging was cut out of the game. It is mature. Javon won forever. Oh man. Just fast mashing, chain smoke. I'm gonna mute my mic real quick for nicotine purposes. Actually, a very good point. Um, the scientist guy is kind of what it insinuates happened. It kind of implies it without explicitly stating it, that he is in fact the one that was willing to make Whoopi with the creepy Cher that we have as our antagonist. Um, Parasite Steve, that kills me. Does smoking make me go faster? No, but smoking makes me less calm for some reason. I mean, more calm. I'm sorry. This game makes me less calm. This is a prototype ripoff. Yeah, actually it is. They were like, we really like what was done with Prototype 10 years from now, so we're probably going to replicate that the best we can. But we're going to use a female, because everybody knows that's what gets the people going. I really do like the name Aya, though. Her last name is Brea, which is one letter away from bread, as many viewers have made me painfully aware in the past. Feel good story of the year. Damn, you're killing me. Parasite Thief. That's a little bit of a reach. I think you're reaching at that point. Whoopi, yeah, that's what I wanted to call it, because none of think of the process of what went down. Because last time we saw her, she was lighting horses on fire. She was looking like Cynthia from Rugrats. Cut to, now she's got she's fat. Just really strange stuff is going on. This is one of my favorite parts coming up, is this guy gets set up and then he runs to you. But check out the run. Check out the animation they put in on this guy's run. Every time, man, it kills me. Kills me. Oh, he spoiled it. Beardy Duck. No, we're not there yet. You mean the greatest action sequence in all of video games? That's what you mean, Beardy Duck? Parasite Heave. Oh, Jesus. This is a new game, not New Game Plus. A New Game Plus is usually 2 hours and 25 minutes. This run, my world record for it is 2:57:58. You can nobody actually runs New Game Plus, and the reason for that is that you have to do so many runs of New Game that you get 999 stats on everything, which could take, unless you manipulate a save state, which is frowned upon, so I've been told. But it would require running this game so many times that it would be really, really annoying. So the people who have done that have earned their place on the 2-person leaderboard. But yeah, that's ultimately the point. We also have another category, which is New Game Plus Chrysler Building, which is about a 30-minute run. On the slower side. But again, you need 999 stats for everything to compete with the people who have done it. So I don't run either of those categories. Parasite Steve. Oh man, that one never gets old for me. I have a couple of diehard viewers that always watch my stream when I do my my PB attempts, and Parasite Steve, Aya Bread. Those are all a couple things I've heard before. He is a nice guy. Oh man. Oh wow. I think, I'm sorry if I butcher your name, but Javon has transcended the Mido pun game. Yeah, Chrysler Building is super fun because you just one-shot everything with insanely broken weapons. But if you're doing like a casual playthrough of it, it's exceptionally hard because this is a huge maze. It's very hard to get through if you don't know what you're doing. Oh, it's also important to notice that the U.S. military was like, "Hey, do you have any pilot training? Nah, forget about it. Doesn't matter. We need you to go up with absolutely no gear on, not even seatbelt, into this helicopter by yourself and shoot down this huge demon." Everybody's shooting at it, everybody's dying, but because she fires the missile For some reason, the mitochondria affects the helicopter structure. I'm not really sure. It does work. He's smurfing. Parasite bereave. RIP Statue of Liberty. For those of you who don't know, the Statue of Liberty we have now is actually a fake. Because this did take place in 1997 in New York City. We had one viewer that was there. He can vouch. So right here we got a save prompt. And you can either lose like 10 seconds on this save prompt, or you can do it flawlessly. It's just worth noting. But all in all, like a casual playthrough, you can clock in a lot of hours. A lot of these cutscenes are very cool, given the time frame that they were created. So now she's back to just 2 breasts. She looks kind of like the wildling from Game of Thrones. Got it. Nice. Is the date 9/11? No. No. It's Christmas of 1997. So right here, she's like, screw it. She literally just jumps out of this helicopter. It doesn't really tell you what happens to the helicopter, but if you look, it was flying to the direction of the city. She just puts on a parachute, jumps out of this, lands perfectly on this island. Very impressive work. Okay, so want to make sure that I... Alright, cool. I did everything correctly. Up until this point, at least. So that's good. So it was you, she says. Now she's got this cool looking, she's got a couple of little dangly legs, a little cork. Look at that thick thighs though, you know what I'm saying? Thick, double I, THI, double C, thick kind of thing, look at her. And for some reason, Square Enix always has to make like their final bosses look really strange. Like in every Final Fantasy game, they're just like, it's just like they mashed a bunch of crap together, and that's what they made as the final boss. I don't understand it. Just because she has red hair? No, not because she has green eyes as well, which I noticed the chick in Game of Thrones had. What was her name? I can't remember. Whatever. It's not like it matters now if you catch my drift. Yeah, I said double I. I don't know, man. It's 4:30 in the morning. Give me a break. Fuck. Oh shit, you guys are killing me. How many boots can a game leg? So right here we're gonna cast haste with our first command. She likes to grab you. So we kind of like, you'll see me run away after I attack. Yeah, there we go. So now we're just shelling out the pain. Oh no, I'm getting grabbed. I reloaded, so there was no dodging that. Wow, that was actually an exceptional Eve fight. That's the first phase. The second phase is really awesome because you get to see Liberate for the first time, which I'll use 2 more times. But it's actually a really awesome ability. How did this game ever... I don't know, man. I don't know. Turbo Dog and Pewexel ran it a long time ago in RPGLB. I would love to have it get accepted for a GDQ. But that'll never happen. Okay. So here's Liberate. This should kill her. Really sick ability. If you ever saw the anime, what was it called? Wow, I'm so upset that I can't remember it. It was about these women who were they were like half beast, and they could transform into these beasts basically, and they slayed the beast. She didn't die. So, oh, she did. Okay. What was it called? What was that anime called? They reject mitochondria. Yeah, GDQ is not a fan of Parasite Eve, as I've come to find out. Man, I'm so sad that I can't remember the name of that anime. But the Liberate looks just like the chick Claire does in that anime. Basically, Knights of the Round. Yeah, it basically is. Not Animorphs. I'll think of it. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. Sorry, I'm an anime weeb or whatever. Okay, so we're actually... Ooh. Doing good time. That's gonna drive me absolutely insane now. Claymore, thank you. Thank you so much. It's Claymore. Yes. Claymore, you're absolutely correct. I love that show. I thought it was amazing. But yeah, like, you know Claire at the very end of Claymore, when she kind of like turns into a half-beast thing? That's what you look like when you liberate. That's what it reminds me of. We can get Minecraft twice. Yeah, people want to watch Minecraft. People want to watch Barbie Adventures and Mermaid Craft. But Parasite Eve, like, you could put me on it at 1 a.m. and just have people fall asleep to me playing this. Like, give me a break. I just want to go to a very obscure Minnesota hotel and have fun. Like, give me a break. Cut me some slack. You gotta be careful there. If you accidentally accept his prompts, you could be there for a long time. We don't usually pick these up, but I might as well for safety's sake. Free medicine, free ammo, both of which we will probably not need, but it's good to have. Yeah, I don't know how you figured Claymore from the very, very terrible description I gave, but well done. Well done to you. Yeah, Minecraft, that doesn't get you jazzed? Doesn't get you jazzed to watch Minecraft? Breath of the Wild, yep. I think that what kills it though is the 3 hour how long it takes. Like, they can really only justify that long for one game for like Zelda and stuff, which I understand. This game is not crazy fun to watch, but who could pass? Like, imagine how incredible this chat has been with the mitochondria, the puns, and all that. Imagine what a GDQ Twitch chat would be like. It would be amazing. I also would really love to go to Minnesota just to wear out my Packers clothes. Let's get some baby rages in chat because the ultimate being is here and he's a baby. Amiibos? I don't even know what those are. I hear that a lot. Yeah, baby rages. Thank you. So yeah, basically we any puns would get banned. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Nah, there's no way they could ban everybody. So yeah, here we go. This guy ages exceptionally quickly. We actually have 4 phases of Ultimate Being. A baby, teenager, adult, and then like straight up ultimate being, I guess. I don't know. Message deleted. That's so funny. But yeah, we gunned down a baby real quick. Killed a dog. Now it's time to kill a baby. Pretty much everything everyone loves. Now we actually have a trick here to get invincibility frames to dodge his really strong attack. He has an attack that'll reduce you to 1 HP. But if you move correctly, you can actually get a little bug that skips it. Here it is. There we go, I got it. Perfect. So as you saw, I took 0 damage there instead of being reduced to 1 HP. So what you're about to see is a strat that I've come up with that makes this next fight insanely fast and insanely safe. Whereas this fight used to kill runs all the time. I lost tons of world records to this. That's actually pretty bad RNG, but it'll work. We need to fire 3 attacks if we can swing it. Perfect. And then we liberate here. And that way, like, had I not taken the damage at the beginning, which I should have been prepared to dodge, we need 4 of these liberates to hit the body. 3. Okay, wow. So we're in good, perfect. Wow. Okay, so this went flawlessly. So usually this fight takes about 1.5 minutes, and there's like a really high chance you could die, or you're gonna have to pause, lose time to cure up. And instead we skip that entirely by doing that strat. It loses us a little bit of time in this next fight, but overall makes the run insanely safe. And it's the strat I use in my current record. So this is UB3. He's probably the hardest hitting. Oh wow, that's unfortunate. So usually we liberate here, but because I just liberated in the last fight, I don't have the mana to do so. So we literally just wait for our PE to recharge until we can liberate again. And now every time I attack, I can use one of my turns to heal. But I don't need to because he popped my medicine. So now we're not even going to bother attacking. We're just going to wait. Because every time you open a menu to attack, he actually, it stalls your PE and your ATB. So it's faster to just let it go. Now this should kill him, and if it doesn't, he's only 1 hit away from dying. So that's the new strat for this. It uses way less medicine and way less ammo. It actually saves about 10 to 20 seconds depending on your RNG. So I'm trying to get everybody kind of moved over to this strategy because I think it's better. Whereas it used to be running out of ammo and dying was a very, very real thing. Because you would run out of medicines, and if you didn't have revives, you were just kind of screwed. This last fight is actually pretty simple. You don't do any damage to him here. But because we have the Micro Uzi, it helps with speed. We should only need 2 more attack rounds. Oh wow, we got lucky with crits. So here is the sickest action cutscene sequence in all of gaming, bar none. I don't care what nobody says about nothing. This shit is fire. Here we go. Witness Daniel, the true hero. What a legend. What a legend. And that's it. That's the last fight of the game. Now, um, holy crap, that was probably the fastest I've ever done. Nah, it's a little bit. Yeah, he literally lights on fire, throws this Aaron Rodgers perfect throw, and then douses himself in the flames when he douses himself in the water, I guess. Okay, now right here I kind of need to pay attention because if you screw this up, it's game over and run over. So I gotta make sure that I don't do this wrong. So give me a minute before I can respond to your dank memes and mitochondria puns. He didn't die. He's fine, by the way. He landed in the water, so he wasn't on fire anymore. So the reason I need to pay attention here is because if you're moving the wrong direction and you go back a screen, you lose. He kills you. Mitochondria. Oh shit. Get ready for Hell's Kitchen, boys. She drops this sick line right here. She waits a good... Do you know where we are? Oh shit. We're in Hell's Kitchen. Oh shit. I'm choking. Call me Clint Stevens. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Parasite Eve. Now, we don't actually finish the split until after the cutscene, or after the credits, because there's another prompt where you get your in-game time and all that stuff. There you go. So you just enjoy the cutscenes and text mashing for a little while. Keep it up with the puns. You're almost out of time, so drop your dankest. But yeah, that is the run. That is Parasite Eve. There's nothing more I have to do besides mash. As you can see, Daniel is fine. Thank goodness. There he is. Look at the look at the background. Like, everybody is super well drawn. Like, all the art is really well done, and sound. And then you got these 3 Lego-looking people up here. The credits is about 8 minutes long, so, but the music is really good, so there's that. There has been some talk as to when you exit right there being the final split from now on, but the issue with that is that we can't, in-game time at that point is kind of trivial, and that helps us to better understand, like, the difference in consoles and things. So there's a lot of contingencies we're trying to work out. If we get more people to run the game, that would be incredible. Like I said, we have amazing notes. A flawless guide that literally covers everything. Like, move left here, move right, like, it's got everything. So if you're interested in running the game, those notes will get you to where you need to go really quickly. It's a fun game. It's easy to learn. So if you're looking for something to just put yourself on a leaderboard, we need more people for sure. We got I think we got 10 or 11 runs on there right now on the new game category. Yeah, it's done as far as I can't die anymore. So I made it through with both revives. And it looks like we're gonna come in right ahead of estimate. So all in all, pretty. There was a couple of screw ups on my part, but we did alright. Any, the best guide. It really is the best guide. Worried someone literally on fire. See, the thing is, because he was burning up from the inside, because his mitochondria were bursting, jumping into the lake solves that problem. Don't ask me why, I'm not a biologist. But it's not technically over. There is a reason for the New Game Plus. Enjoy the very well done background crowd, and try to spot the main characters in this theater sequence here. Thank you guys for the GGs. It was a good run, man. I'm happy with the way it turned out. It's so much nicer to run this game for marathons because I'm not like obviously resetting and going crazy about my time. Because my current time is pretty refined. There's probably only a couple minutes that it can even be made up, and those are entirely determined by RNG. Parasite peeved. Hell yeah. Again, Maida tries to put the moves on Aya, and Lil Hugh Hefner takes a seat. He's like, nah. The one guy in the front. Yeah. For some reason, they decide to put on the exact same play as the beginning of the game, where everybody caught into flames and, you know, a lot of people died. So in my opinion, a little bit tasteless. But whatever. You know, you do you. By the way, all this text is auto-mashing, so I am officially Dunskies. There is obviously one. I gotta wait to the end of the credits for time. But Parasite leave. Jeez, I'm gonna have to write all these down. These are quite impressive. You guys have gone above and beyond. Have you done Parasite Eve 2? I've played it casually. I've played Parasite Eve 2 casually. I've not done the speedrun, primarily because there's no notes for it, and I have a hard time like routing stuff out myself. I routed out Silent Hill, and that's a short game, and those notes took me forever to make. And honestly, I didn't really like Parasite Eve 2. The way it played is just... Parasite Eve 2 is just Resident Evil, pretty much, made by Square Enix, whereas this game plays a lot like an RPG, which is what I like about it. It's like a perfect blend of RPG and like mild survival horror mechanics. But yeah, Parasite Eve 2 is a cool game. I just feel like the graphics, the gameplay, and all that, it didn't really feel like it was a better game. It just felt like it was a really different game, if that makes any sense. Congratulations on your lighter in the washing machine. That's really, you just saved like 78 cents at 7-Eleven. Small victories. But thank you guys for Shots Fired, for having me play this this dumpster fire of a game. Thank you for the sickest chat I've ever experienced while streaming this game. I'm fairly certain that Silent Bomber is next, from what I remember. So definitely check that out. Stick around. Guarantee you it'll be more engaging than this. But the credits are upon us, and the music is actually pretty good. No, you did not miss time. Time is not until the end of the credits. I have to enter like a couple different commands, and then we're good to go. So yeah, it is unfortunate that people have to watch this sequence of credits. Maybe for future marathons, I could just as it rolls out, the credits have time, or like the last screen on the boat be time. Because it'll be hard convincing like GDQ or anything to let me into it when you have to watch 8 minutes of credits at the end. This game does have multiple endings, yes. There is a New Game Plus, where you can run through the game the exact same way, but with all your stuff you used in the previous New Game. And there's also the real ending is Chrysler Building, which is a part of New Game Plus. It's a pretty difficult unless you go into it really prepared with all your maxed out weapons and such. And I won't spoil the ending for that. It's only like a 27-minute run. You can just cut to the end of it if you want to see like the actual closure of the story. But for fear of butchering it, because I'm not even really that well versed on the Chrysler ending storyline, I don't want to say something that is incorrect. Definitely not world record. My world record is actually 2:57:58. I believe we're already over that. It's actually the best time I think that I'm capable of, that I've ever been on pace for, is like 2:55:40 something, which is exceptionally rare and hard to get. I think the fastest way to run this game, me and Primus, the other really, really amazing runner of this game that's constantly competing with me, we're constantly exchanging first and second. We've discussed it, and we think the fastest way to get the game is to, in a vacuum, perfect world, not get a single one of the repeat encounters that you get. Whereas I got, what did I say, 9 of them? 9 of the 14? 8 of the 14, something like that. To get 0 of those, which would obviously be insane RNG, you would then have to lose a little bit of time because you would be under-leveled, but in the grand scheme of how much time you saved, it would still probably be the fastest way to do it. There's a lot of contingencies in that, though. But playing ideally with like above average RNG, I think I'm capable of like a 256 something, maybe a 255. But once I got the record that it's currently at, I kind of took a break from the game. Been learning other stuff. Like I said earlier, is the audio too loud? Is it like crunchy? Sometimes when the PSP is all the way up, it sounds crunchy. If so, I can turn it down a tick or two. This is speedrunning, man. Come on. Yeah, I've actually I've gotten the actual data of the game and looked to try to find possible time saves via skips or like item duping and stuff like that. And because the game was made so poorly, um, it's like impossible to break in that fashion without like a game shark or something. And in which case you could just run the you could just run you could just run the new game plus version and achieve the exact same thing. The truly speedrun, you have to read all the credits out loud. Oh goodness, I would literally not play this game anymore. That's funny. A lot of people said that if you wanted to submit a run, you had to sing this song. If you're interested in this crunchy music, here's the soundtrack. Yeah, my Twitch is /professor_Palmer. So if you guys are interested in more of these runs, Solution9. I'm sorry, that's my fault. My name on speedrun.com is Solution9 because that was my previous name for everything, but it was taken when I started on Twitch because I used to stream on YouTube. So they're a little bit different. So I'm sorry about that. I should probably get around to changing that, but I really don't want to. Alright, cool. So we're going to come in right at a little bit before estimate. Hey, what is the time you guys have? I'm at like right about 3. Here, let me just check. My timer is usually a few seconds faster or slower. Oh no, it's almost perfect. At GDQ, you'd be forced to stream it. Heck yeah. Take over the name. Yeah, I actually looked, and the person who has the name has never logged on, like doesn't use it anymore or something. So it is kind of disappointing. Yeah, we're still under estimate. I'm about to finish. It'll probably be like a 3:04:35 maybe, which is great because 3:05 I figured it would be like right at that point. So get ready on time. When you see the save, I'll just call it. It's hard to explain. Oh, I'm screwing it up. And time. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. So there's the in-game time of 2:26:49, which is why we do it here as opposed to everywhere else. But that's it. That's the run. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for letting me run the game for Shots Fired. Enjoy the rest of the games. Good luck to the rest of the runners. Thanks, guys.